McDonald's is easily the most recognizable fast food chain in the world. It has stores all over the globe and they sell to billions of customers. But today we ignore this monolithic megacorp and instead take a look at the regular, everyday folks who are using creative loopholes to cheese McDonald's and profit whilst doing so. So get yourself comfortable as we're going to be taking a look at all of the best times someone has exploited and cheated McDonald's using their own systems against them. And who better to talk you through these fantastic stories than the king of exploits and tea drinking, the Spiffing Brit. That's right, it's me. So ladies and gentlemen, it's time for today's stories to begin. And of course we're going to start with a trip down to the land down under, as we take a look at how some absolutely incredible Aussies managed to completely and utterly destroy the economy of McDonald's. Now, if there are two things in this world that I just absolutely love as a Brit, it's happy Australian accents and stacking modifiers to create a negative value. Now, way back in 2019, some Aussie mates went to a location locally referred to as Macca's. They arrived with a huge hunger and desire for burgers and a vegetarian friend called Harry. Naturally, they stroll up to one of these brand new fancy modern ordering computers. Now, their friend Harry wants 10 $1 hamburgers. There's only one issue. Harry's a vegetarian and can't eat meat. If Harry were to have any meat even so much as touch his lips, there's a very real chance that he might explode and destroy everything in a 5-mile radius. There is also the more likely chance that he will simply give the restaurant a bad review on TripAdvisor. So Harry needs a burgerless hamburger. Well, luckily McDonald's is willing to cater to just about any dietary requirements by allowing users to customize their orders. The intention of this is of course to let users add more to their meals. Want an extra burger patty in that $1 hamburger? Okay, well that's going to cost you $1.10. McDonald's decided to charge this much to encourage you to buy a more expensive burger, instead of just adding another burger patty to a single hamburger. There was just one slight issue. By saying that the patty costs $1.10, you've also just said that by removing the patty, the $1 burger goes down $1.10 in cost. Meaning a burgerless hamburger breaks McDonald's and gets calculated to be worth minus 10 cents. Meaning McDonald's would technically pay you to buy this product. So not only have these Aussies just found a way to solve world hunger with ketchup bread, but they've also just found an infinite money machine, provided you're fine with all of your money coming in the form of McDonald's food. Now the Aussies here used their newfound exploit to buy 10 burgerless burgers and consequently ended up creating a credit of a standing total of minus $1. Using this negative dollar, they then spent it on a regular dollar hamburger, this time actually containing meat, and this balanced out the total to an incredible $0. All they had to do was press complete. Of course, naturally, no payment was taken as the order was just $0, and yet the machine still printed out a receipt and sent the order to the kitchen. After a few minutes of a poor employee trying to make a hamburger without the element of a burger, the order was actually completed and given over to the Australians. And would you look at that, it's a free burger surrounded by 10 ketchupy bits of bread. Now these Australians had just discovered something incredible, and so naturally they shared this knowledge with the world. Now, logically speaking, there is no limit to the amount of ketchup bread you can order. So what would happen if you took this to its logical extreme? Well, in order to get yourself a large Big Mac meal in Australia, you'd need $11.65, or in exploiters' terms, you could have all of this for free with just 117 ketchupy buns. Now, hats off to whoever can convince a McDonald's restaurant to make 117 empty burgers for free, but there is genuinely a real chance that someone actually managed to do this in Australia. Naturally, shortly after the Australians revealed this exploit, McDonald's pulled the classic corporate response by saying everything was fine and security was excellent, and after a few days they fixed this exploit in all of their ordering machines. But this is the power of stacking negative discounts to gain free items. It's a surprisingly common exploit online, and heck, it's even one that I've run into on many different websites. I think my personal favorite was using a loop of stacking discounts on Amazon to gain infinite free gift cards. But hey, that's a story for another day, as we have more McDonald's stories to tell. And trust me, we're about to dive into something very spicy. Ladies and gentlemen, you might need another cup of tea for this one, because we're about to reveal the infinite cheeseburger loop exploit. Now, McDonald's is no stranger to giving away free food, but they always do so on their own terms. Well, allow me to introduce you to a random bloke from England who found a bug in the McDonald's app that allowed him to steal from the rich and give free cheeseburgers to the poor. The man effectively became the cheeseburger Jesus, or Cheesus, by converting a single phone app into infinite cheeseburgers. The new foodie messiah is none other than Jordan Miller, a 21-year-old average British bloke. Now, it all began with a very simple promotion event. McDonald's wanted to celebrate the release of their brand new delivery app with a free gift. For every new user who signed up, they could receive their very own free cheeseburger. What a fantastic way to welcome new users. Who doesn't like free food? I, for one, will do anything for food. Which is why today's video sponsor is Greggs. They actually didn't pay me or give me anything, mind you, but they do make some incredibly cheap and tasty pastries. I'm just saying, please give me money, Greggs. Please respond to my emails. Just anything. I need a sausage roll. So yes, if every new user gets a free cheeseburger, what could possibly go wrong? Surely millions of people will sign up and enjoy all of these fantastic cheeseburgers. Well, it turns out there was a minor issue. You see, the issue is when you have a simple line of code that determines what is and isn't a new user, it'd best be a perfectly balanced line of code with no exploits. Well, this line of code was no match for Jesus. The man very quickly discovered that it was very easy to dupe the algorithm behind the app into accepting just about any identity that was thrown at it. Now, Jordan was a dab hand with computers and knew that if the promotion was accurate and it was one free cheeseburger per person, then all he needed to do for infinite cheeseburgers was to find a way to generate infinite people. Now, you see, using a basic email alias setup and a few lines of code, anyone can mass produce fake email accounts and names for the app to detect. Then all you need to do is have another program skim all of the reward codes that get sent back to the false emails, and hey presto, you have yourself 100 free cheeseburger codes. So what did Jordan do with his newfound discovery? Well, he ordered so many cheeseburgers that he brought his local McDonald's to a standstill. The manager of the branch even had to join in and assist in the sudden creation and fabrication of 100 suspiciously meaty cheeseburgers. So what did Jordan do with his plentiful supply of cheeseburgers? The man now had technically enough free food to give him the calories necessary to keep himself alive for almost an entire fortnight. But Jordan was a selfless individual who immediately took to the streets, handing out the burgers to random pedestrians, homeless people, and colleagues. Now, of course, following his escapade, Jordan vowed never to use his power again and reported on the issue to McDonald's, who naturally pretended the issue didn't exist and just let the promotion end. But for a brief period of time, thanks to the discovery of one man, it would have been possible for every McDonald's in the UK to collapse following an infinite order of cheeseburgers. All it would take is about a team of 5 people, and literally anyone could easily place an order for 100,000 free cheeseburgers in any McDonald's restaurant, consequently bringing it to a complete and utter standstill. This is the closest we've ever come to a cheeseburger-based apocalypse. But we've seen how the Australians exploit McDonald's, we've seen how the Brits exploit McDonald's. What about some super duper efficient Germans? Well, ladies and gentlemen, get ready for the Germans versus McDonald's. Trust me, this is one you don't want to miss. Germans are famously a group of people who are fantastic at many things. The exploiters behind this exploit are a few friends from Hamburg who are coders by trade. Using their experience with coding and programming, they were able to be in the perfect position for discovering this incredible exploit and unleashing unlimited power in the form of free McDonald's food, of course. So Lenny and David are 2 software developers located in northern Germany. Their antics have made their names legendary as the Hamburg Hamburglers. You see, the pair discovered that at the end of the receipts in McDonald's, there's often a link to a survey. And of course, if you do the survey, you get yourself a coupon code for a free small drinks. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, you can get a free cup of tea. We must secure the tea, more tea, 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 tea. Sorry about that, of course, you know what it's like when us Brits get a whiff of the leafy goodness. So McDonald's, in an effort to basically get more reviews on their products and restaurants, created a system whereby fans of the fast food can review their meals and be given a reward. There's only one minor issue. Lenny and David noticed that the review website's code was structured in a way that meant the information triggering the McDonald's server to print a new voucher code was always the same, meaning all Lenny and David had to do for unlimited drinks was create a program that just replicated the instruction and repeated it over and over again. Instantly, David and Lenny now had access to more suspiciously meaty milkshakes than they could ever possibly use. But this was just the tip of the proverbial glitched iceberg, as McDonald's had not satisfied the Germans' appetite for exploits. They knew that if it was that easy to get the server to print out coupon codes, they could probably find a way for it to print out any coupon code for any McDonald's product. It took them 5 hours, and then David managed to crack the code. You see, McDonald's McDonald's used a linear coupon code system where basically if you can predict the sequence for a product's coupon code, then you can get the McDonald's server to effectively print as many coupon codes as you like for whatever food you like. So here's how the exploit works. Lenny and David get peckish, so they load up a VPN on their laptop and then they go onto the McDonald's survey website. They then decide that of course they want some nuggets and they run the nugmaster.exe program. The McDonald's server detects that someone has just completed a large quantity of non-existent surveys and needs to be rewarded, so it creates a brand new nugget coupon code and shoots the reward immediately back with no questions asked. So David and Lenny then waltzed into their local McDonald's in Hamburg and collected their 17 euros worth of free food. And with that, the entire McDonald's company collapsed under the financial pressure of giving away free food. It was so sad. Grimace even came out of retirement to announce the bankruptcy of Mr. Ronald McDonald. And on today's video, just one like equals one prayer for McDonald's. Maybe if we can hit 50,000 likes, we can save this billion-dollar company from financial ruin. Okay, but here's what really happened. David and Lenny walked into the local branch to collect their food, and they actually felt so bad for getting the food for free, they even told the local manager of their exploits. The manager naturally just said, keep the food, you earned it, and with that, the Hamburglers waltzed out of the restaurant with their giant booty of free nuggets. Now the issue is David understood the risk of this power and knowledge that they'd just uncovered. Other people might soon discover this exploit, and when they do, they might sell the coupon codes online for a profit. In the wrong hands, this free food exploit could easily be turned into an infinite money exploit. In my hands, it instantaneously would be turned into an infinite money exploit. But the gents of course decided to do something nice. They told McDonald's about the exploit, and for many weeks McDonald's customer services did the classic thing that it always does and pretends that it doesn't exist. But after a while, a reward was given to Dave and Lenny, and the exploit was subtly fixed in the background. But remember, ladies and gentlemen, similar to video games, every time there's a new update or an old bug that's fixed in a system, a new one is instantly created. This is the law of exploits. And there we have it, ladies and gentlemen, all of my very favorite McDonald's vs exploiters scenarios, where as you can tell, pretty much every time McDonald's lost out. This is the power of exploiting a very simple system, and my goodness is it just majestic. If you enjoyed learning about today's exploits and you want to see more like it, then hey, recommend a couple of companies down below. I'll be more than happy to actually reveal every single exploit that exists in all of these companies' histories. Every single company has a million exploits that have happened in the past and are in fact still active. It's insane. And if you of course want to see more exploits as and when I reveal them, make sure to subscribe, and heck, you can even turn on the notifications for this channel to make sure that you're always the first person to hear when a new discovery is made. Anyway, as always, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching. Thank you as always to the very generous channel members and patrons who support these majestic videos. Seriously, pat yourselves on the back, you lovely sausages. And hey, if you sat there wondering what video you'd like to watch next, well, guess what? It turns out I've covered a lot of exploits. So why not watch this video on screen here? Because if you enjoyed exploiting McDonald's, you're going to absolutely love seeing what we did in Prison Architect. Because as it turns out, ladies and gentlemen, life, games, and just about everything is not perfectly balanced, and everything has exploits. Anyway, I'll see each and every one of you in the next one. Have an absolutely lovely day, and goodbye for now.